We are live. All right, hey guys, what is going on? It's Intelligent Cycle back here with another stream. So I'm gonna continue this series of just my thoughts, and I explained it in the description below, where I cover artists, musicians, bands, etc., producers, and I go over their life, biography, and just talk about their early beginnings, early life and career, and where they're currently placed and whole. And will I give them and I will give them artists give those artists and band members a recommendation. And I'm gonna continue this series to continue giving, you know, the fans what they want, my subscribers what they want, and also to talk about these things for myself as well. So this time I want to talk about currently the artist that I'm listening to right now, and it's funny that she just released her newest album last week called "Fall in Love with Her." And I'm going to talk about this 28-year-old artist by the name of Sabrina Claudio, and she covers mostly and tackles R&B and contemporary R&B. So I'm gonna just do more or less a little bit of a background about her and talk about her her early beginnings. So about her, she was a Latin Grammy nominated songwriter. Sabrina Claudio is a star on the rise. She has features and collaborated with artists like Black, Tiny Meat Gang, Wale, and T Pain. And she is currently in resided from the United States, so she currently is named Sabrina Claudio. So she is American singer, songwriter, model, signed to Atlantic Records. She began her career in 2016 with her debut single Confidentially Lost, which she followed with her debut EP About Time. Her second EP, No Rain, No Flowers, was released in 2018, and she released her first full-length album in 2019. And she has been nominated for Latin Grammy Award and has collaborated with popular artists such as Black, Tiny Meat Gang, Wale, and T Pain. Um, Let me go to this. Early life: Sabrina Claudio was born in Miami, Florida on September 19th, 1996. She started playing piano at the age of 11 and began her writing her own songs soon after. She graduated from high school early at the age of 17 and moved to Los Angeles for college, where she studied music production and engineering. In 2016, Sabrina Claudio released her debut single, Confidently Lost, which quickly gained popularity and garnered over 50 million streams worldwide. This led to her signing with Atlantic Records the same year. She followed with the release of her debut EP About Time in 2017, which peaked at 62 on the Billboard 200 chart. In 2018, she released her second EP, No Rain, No Flowers, which included popular singles like Unrival Me and Belong to You. Later that year, she released her first full-length album, Truth Is, which peaked at number 20 on the Billboard 200 chart. She was nominated for Latin Grammy Award in 2019 for Best New Artist, and has collaborated with notable artists, like I mentioned before. She currently resides in Los Angeles and is active on social media platforms such as Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. She often posts updates about her career as well as her personal photos and videos. She is the supporter of numerous charities, including Musicians on Call, which brings live music hospital patients around the world. And let me see something real quick. Okay, now I can go into more detail. So life and career: she grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. She is Cuban and Puerto Rican descent. She moved to Los Angeles, where she began her career in earnest, and she first began recording and releasing covers on Twitter and YouTube before transition to original tracks, which she released on SoundCloud. Over the course of 2016, Claudia released singles including Running Through Lovers, Orion's Belt, and Confidentially Lost. Um, in May 2017, she released the single Unravel Me of an up-and-coming project due to the release later in 2017. The song will go on to peak at number 22 on the Billboard Twitter Emerging Artist charts, which she released for a single that project entitled Belong to You in July 2017, which peaked at number 2 on the same chart. And it was announced in August of 2017 that Claudia will be touring North America with Black on his Free Black tour. In October 5th of 2017, she released her full-length digital mixtape About Time, was officially released. The mixtape was supported by singles like Unravel to Me and Belong to You. And Apple Music promoted Claudio as their up next artist, a series focused on breakthrough artists, documenting their journey, inspiration, and influences through exclusive interviews, live performances, and mini documentary. On April 2018, Claudio released the single All to You, followed by Don't Let Me Down, featuring Khalid on April 4th. Her studio album, No Rain, No Flowers, was released on October 15, 2018, preceded by the single Messages from her management is Sal and Cole Neil Athway. In October 22nd, 2022, she was credited on the songwriter on the Plastic Off the Sofa, her eighth track on Beyonce's seventh studio album, Renaissance, which she received a nomination for Album of the Year at the 65th Annual Grammy Awards. Controversies. On April 2018, a series of screenshots began circulate around the social media, showcasing Claudio use of several racial slurs and other offensive language directed at black women. And she was also accused of using a second account on Twitter to share racist messages. Claudio issued a now delayed apology on Twitter for her actions, which I had no idea about this. And so, headlining, she had did No Rain No Flowers in 2018, Truth Is Tour in 2019, Based on the Feeling Tour in 2022, and of course supporting Black on the Fleabag Tour in 2017. Here is her discography of her albums, all the way from her latest one, Fall in Love with Her, her mixtape About Time, compilations is Archives of Lullabies, which is basically her compilation of albums from her earliest work of her EPs, and extended plays, Confidentially Lost, and Up Next Season, and all of her main peak charting singles at the earliest position. So my thoughts about Sabrina Claudio is I am a huge fan of her music, man. I think her music is very whimsical, very, just so comfortably devoted into her own life, which is very charitable and very enriching and very engulfing and very enriching, to a sense where it gets me motivated to go through certain obstacles in life on my end, and also going through a certain part of my life, and just learning about relationships and learning about just feeling comfortable in your own skin, feeling comfortable just living your own life through peace. And I really feel like she does that the best way possible in her music, and that's what kind of made me feel a kind of sense of joy and a sense of passion. Now, her controversies, I did not know anything about this. That was very shocking and very disturbing. I had no idea about these things that happened at that time currently, and I'm glad she held herself accountable for those things. Um, and her music, to me, I really do like Based on the Feeling, that came out a few years ago. That was probably my favorite project. Number one, because I really do feel like what I was saying before about the feeling of just living through peace and prosperity, and just living through just your own confidence. And she also talks about her own body. She talks about, like body shaming and women going through their own like emotional mood swings. I really do like that about her. And I really do feel like she's open and honest and transparent and very personal. That gave me something to really get to hold on and hold a latch to. And that's what really put me through her music and really got me through certain uncomfortable parts, in life of mine. So I really do like that about her. And I really do like how open and honest she is. And it really gives me a sense of just a lot of modern day artists should be current, especially current R&B, contemporary R&B artists, and even pop stars should really be open and honest in their music as well. And she really, as far as currently new age artists, she really does that the best. And I really think a lot of artists should kind of follow in her footsteps and hold themselves accountable for a lot of their actions of what they go through. So that would be my thing that really has me feeling with that. And of course, her latest album, Fall in Love with Her, kind of follows in that same path as her earlier work. So I would definitely check those out. My favorite songs or singles, I would say, is Messages from Her, Energy, Rumors, Warm December, and and her first single, Confidentially Lost. I think the most underrated song from her is "Unravel Me." That's what I was saying before, and that was earlier on in her career on the EP About Time, which kind of goes into the point about what I was saying about feeling confidence in yourself and confidence amongst yourself as you're going through life. I really feel like that song really kind of goes through those kind of angles and hits at certain points and really goes through certain ventures and values of your own well-being. I really think that song covers that topic so well. Um, Also, these other songs from a recent project, "Fall in Love with Her," the songs "Need You to Need Me" and "Before It's Too Late" and "Memory Foam" are gonna be pretty much up there when it's all said and done. I'll talk about that in a review about her album, and that really was a thing that kind of just really showed me what she's been going through over these past few years, not releasing any music and kind of just living life and experiencing things outside outside of the world and outside of the music realm. That really just shows how much of growth that she's had over the course of her career. So I really do like that. So um, I would say I definitely would recommend her. And I would say check her out and also check her latest album out, "Fall in Love with Her." That's a really solid project. And check out all of her works too, from "Truth Is" and even going back to "Confidently Lost," of her first project. So yeah, I would say that would be a thing that I would recommend for a lot of you guys who are looking into being modern contemporary R&B. Check that album out. That would be a thing that I would say if you are looking to find more peace, more just feeling mostly confident in your own skin, your own body, embracing your own sexuality, embracing your own like just masculinity or femininity. Really kind of just check those things, check this album out because I really think that explains that so very well um, from her. So check out Sabrina Claudio. I would recommend her um, to a lot of folks. So that would be the main thing. Now, now another and also she made guest appearances. If I didn't cover this, she made guest appearances on songs like "Song for You" from Dylan, and "That's Why I Love You" from Sir's album "Chasing Summer," and the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack of the song "Cross Your Mind." Also, some songs I would recommend and check out as well. So yeah, I would say check out Sabrina Claudio. She really has a lot of good work. She has a really lot of good stuff out there. Uh, my favorite songs definitely is "Unravel Me" and "Confidently Lost." "Need You to Need Me" uh, and "Memory Foam." Those songs are definitely ones I would check out from her latest project, "Fall in Love with Her." Um, and also check her out and tell me what you guys think down in the comment section. As I'm gonna be moving on from her as a new current artist, and I'm gonna be talking about an older legend and currently still making music by the name of Belinda Carlisle. So I'll just go through her background real quick and biography real quick. So she was born August the 17th, 1958 in Los Angeles, California. She goes by the name of Belinda Joe Carlisle. Uh, and she goes by the nicknames of Babe and Donnie Danger. She experienced a full-blown American success in the 80s, all with the all-female rock band, the Go-Go's, and then later on an international level, where she always wanted as a solo artist. The Go-Go's first album, 1981's "Beauty and the Beat," spent 6 weeks at number one, and they are still the only female band ever to have a number one album. Band meaning where all the members play their own instruments. Um, in 1982, the group released the album "Vacation," which is set out on a major sale out of tours of the states. The album debuted in the top 10, one of the first albums to ever do so, peaking at number 8. The album still, the album debut, it would eventually go to sell number one, over 1 million copies through the record company, and it had certified as gold. The problems were rising in the band as tensions grew between members Jane Wyland and Belinda as Jane felt that too much focus was placed on Belinda as a star, and members Gina Shock and Charlotte Caffey both experienced health problems, and all the members were experiencing drug addiction. The group consistently had problems with their label as they were not paid royalties when they should have been. In 1984, the group released a talk show, and despite having one of the biggest tours of the summer of 1984, the album was considered a commercial disappointment. The band broke up in spring of 1985. In 1986, saw Belinda releasing her first solo album called Apply Belinda. Drug free, married, happy, and healthy, she continued to experience major solo success through 1989 with the releases of her albums Heaven on Earth '87, Runaway Horses in 1989, and with the onslaught of grunge moving during the early 1990s, Belinda's 1991 effort, Live Your Life, Be Free, barely made a dent in the charts, and the first single peaked at number 83 on the Billboard Hot 100. And by 1993, her first solo album, her solo album Real, excuse me, not her first solo album Real, also tanked, and her American record company MCA Records dropped her a year later. MCA technically should be to blame, as they hardly promoted her work and most of it was sold on its own. They did the same to Olivia Newton-John some 10 years earlier, but just because a pop star isn't experiencing American success does not mean that they are not experiencing it elsewhere. Belinda continues to be a huge commodity in Europe, as almost as big as Madonna, and sells out stadiums in the United Kingdom where they truly seem to appreciate her. Today, Belinda occasionally records both as a solo artist and as a member of the Go-Go's. She considers herself a part-timer in these fields, as she prefers her home life as opposed to nail-biting entertainment industry. She appeared in the 1984 Goldie Hawn vehicle Swing Shift 1984, and in 2001, she showed as a 43-year-old with no plastic surgery, and who is it? A size 0 can still be sexually valuable, and when it's posed as a nude for Playboy. Her family of her spouse is Morgan Mason from April 1986 to currently. Her trademarks is angular cheekbones. Okay, no, don't read that. Anyways, she intermittently battled cocaine addiction over the course of her life. She gave up on drugs and alcohol altogether in 2005. Like I said, her husband is Morgan Mason, and her children is James Mason and Pamela Mason. She's named after her mother's favorite film, Johnny and Belinda, in 1948. And her quotes is, "You don't have to be the age 20 and a size 0 to be sexually valuable and able to be valuable as a woman." Absolutely devastated about George Michael, and what an effing way to end his year. Rest in peace, my friend. Okay. I'll just pick a few. Okay, I'll read one of these quotes. "So when I started to make money, I went a bit crazy. Once I went to the racetrack and woke up the next morning owning a horse. I've been drinking, doing drugs, and betting, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. The American dream always felt possible to me, against all odds. Tough on bringing the addiction to pop life. All of my experiences. I think the attitude is why I'm still sitting here, soon to be 60. I don't really want to sing about cars and getting laid and all that crap." All right, so those are just some quotes that was said and made at the time in her career. And so tell me what you guys think about Belinda Carlisle. For me, my thoughts about her was, I have remember hearing her second album, Heaven on Earth, and I don't remember ever hearing anything from the Go-Go's, except for Yeah, I don't remember hearing anything from her earlier group in the '80s called the Go-Go's. I don't remember hearing anything about her, about that at the time. But the one thing that I did hear in her solo career was her second album, Heaven on Earth. That was a really good album. I kind of just took that as more or less her tackling things about um, tackling things about her drugs, about her drug addiction, married, happy, and just her life experiences from that record. And I really did appreciate, just like I was saying, about open and honesty and transparency. I really do like that about artists. That makes me kind of feel like they're coming more so talking about their career overall and just kind of going through certain trials and tribulations and temptations. That really kind of just makes it more holier than thou and more honest. And that's what I kind of really like and appreciate about her and her vocal and her ranges, because I believe she was a 3.5 and possibly 4 octave range. And let me just read in the comments. And yeah, I remember, and I just remember that and about open and honesty. So I remember hearing her second album as a kid. Remember just hearing that on the pop stations, and now looking back at it, that kind of just made me that kind of just made me feel some kind of way. Just like looking back, it was just like, oh man, like just hearing these stories and hearing her quotes and hearing just stuff about her life just really made me feel nostalgic in some way, in a lot of ways. Harry, I was in love with her when I was a kid. Damn, I can't believe it was so long ago. Oh, okay. She's 20 years older than me. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people definitely felt a lot about her power, about her voice. She was very powerful a singer, and I really do like. And she was so vulnerable. She was so honest in her songs. I really do love the way that she would just tackle so many things that happened personally and from her, and how she overcome those obstacles, man. So that'd be the main thing I would say that kind of really got me encapsulated by her. And I really do love. She probably is one of the few performers, and even still currently to this day, I really just get chills just watching. So yeah, that be the main thing I would say about her that I really enjoy, and I definitely recommend her to a lot of people out there, that she has something for everybody. Um, and she may not be particularly the taste for a lot of people, but for me, I definitely recommend her. She definitely has a lot of amazing qualities. Um, so yeah, that would be this volume in this series. So I went through real quick and tackled these artists. So you say you got me as a new sub. It's nice to see someone not streaming the riots. And I went through a drug phase. Thankfully, I got through it. Well, yeah, Harry. Thank you for. And I appreciate the comments. Yeah, I really am just trying to go through and really tackle a lot of artists that are, to a lot of people and a lot of new subscribers for me, are not relatively known, or not really relatively as known to the public, or relatively as known to the public masses. The ones who, unless you listen to pop music, unless you listen to you know, country, all these different genres. I want to try to tackle artists and bands through that, and also tackle through these people and talk about, their lives, and really kind of just showcase, a new and different audience. So that's kind of like what I go through. And thank you for noticing that. And also, um, uh, uh, I'm definitely glad that you got over you got you. I'm definitely glad you got over your drug phase too. That's definitely very important, and I appreciate you sharing that kind of story, because it definitely is inspiring for a lot of people that are for people that are seeing this. So thank you very much. But yeah, that is it for me, talking about these artists. You said, what about the Jets Tiffany Debbie Gibson. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do a biopic and cover them and do this series more often, and I'm gonna talk about them in another separate video. So be on the lookout for that. You'll hear me talk about them pretty soon. Um, it's gonna be something similar to this, but not exactly. And I'm gonna and by the way, what are your thoughts and the rest of you guys that are watching, what are your thoughts about Belinda Carlisle? Well, name your top five or name your five favorite songs by her and why, and also name your favorite performances. What are your favorite concert performances if you did see her at the time and why? So yeah, that is it for me. That is it for me talking about a lot of artists. So covering these artists and musicians. So, and my series for now, I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do more of these. Looking forward to that, and looking forward to that pretty soon. And the next person I'm gonna cover is definitely, and thank you, Harry, for giving me an idea. I'm gonna definitely cover Debbie Gibson, and also be covering the band Radiohead. And I'm gonna cover that also. So, thank you guys for watching, and I am gonna be out of here. Peace.